Hey guys, this is KSA back with another video. We're going to be doing, what could I call this? Like just the easiest build ever. It's not too hard, it's fairly straightforward. And it works for almost every mod. It's working in my one now at the moment, which is pretty damn small and really hard to see into. I think it's dry too. No, it's not. We'll be doing it on Aaron's mod. And in his dripper, the mutation XV5. Basically all this is 6 wraps wrapped around a like 3mm tool. It's kind of...
Who's that, yo?
Is it? No, not that. That's similar. It's pretty much about this size. Is that focusing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's about that size. Not too big. And yeah, this is the easiest thing ever in the world to do if you're just a beginner into vaping. So yeah, we'll see you later. Okay guys, basically this is how Aaron's mod now looks, well dripper now looks. Is this on? Yep. I don't want to burn myself. Why is it on 75 watts?
Because that's what I do.
Running the shit out of those batteries, yeah? We need to get rid of the coils that are already pre-installed due to Aaron, and yeah, we'll just get that done now. Okay, well, we're after getting rid of, well, not getting rid of, opening the, what are they called?
Screws.
Hardware, screws, whatever. And there it is. All you really have to do then is just pull with a tweezers or anything you got, like take out all the cotton and the coil. I'm just gonna leave it there for a minute. Okay, so do you want me to throw it in there? Yeah. Okay, just find something you can dispose of them in. Aaron's using a Pringles tin. Now, so this is what it should look like from the very beginning. It's just open, nothing there to annoy you. And then we're gonna get to the actual building part. For this we're going to be using 24 gauge Cantal. This is 30 feet, not bad. You don't really want too much wire, so I'm going to use this nail clippers. Everyone else likes to use these, but these don't work as well for me. For the first part you kind of only need about, what could you even call that? It's not even a foot of wire.
Couple inches. 8.
Yeah, about 8 inches. No, not 8. About 6. Yeah, you're gonna need about 6 inches, maybe a little bit more in total. Should look like that. My hand isn't pretty big, so like you can probably see the comparison. It's not much, like. Yeah, you don't really need that much wire anyway. For this, you're going to use the tool. This is the tool I was talking about. It's actually a bit smaller than the screwdriver I previously shown you, if you can see that. It's about 3mm, maybe even smaller. What you want to do is leave yourself a nice bit of like wire so as it can go into one of your negative posts, and you're going to start to wrap underneath and around. So some people can confuse this and start underneath and start wrapping this way, which can just be really irritating and annoying. So what you want to do is, after the first wrap, that counts as, this one in here counts as 1, this one here counts as 1. So that's 2 wraps already after just wrapping around once. There's 3. There's 4. 5. 6. Now, this isn't the like most perfect coil yet, and to be fairly honest, it doesn't need to be, because with 24 gauge Cantal, it's kind of like really easy to like mold into the way you want it. So what you do is you just shove it down there and just keep it held for a second. Try hold it there for a minute. It's already, after just tightening it together just a small bit more. You can keep doing that if you want, or you can take it off and use a tweezers. We're using it as ceramic tweezers. Aaron got like only a couple of days ago, and he's already broken the top somehow. You just put it in there like that, squeeze, hold it for a second, and let go. Now they're a lot better looking than the start, like when I first had it wrapped. Then you're gonna like clip this second lead. This is the first lead. Leave it that size. You're gonna clip this second lead just a little bit longer than your first lead. So I'm gonna leave it maybe double the size, and just get rid of that part. So this is what you should be left with. You don't have to worry if this is bent or not, because you can just fix that later. So that's one. And I'm gonna go do the second one, but I'm not gonna put you through like watching me do the second one. It's the same, everything is the same for it. And I'll bring you back to when we're installing it into the RDA. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna be installing them into the mod. So what I suggest you do is put it back onto the thing you use to wrap it around. Kind of straighten the leads out as much as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, it can be bent like that, but just as long as it goes into the mod itself. And what you want to do is put this one, which would be the, well, if I was doing this properly, it would be like this. You have your regular, or your first wrap, or first lead there, and your second lead here. What you want to do is put your second lead into the bottom one here, and your first lead into the top one up here, and that just makes everything easier. So it should just look like it's going to end up expanding again, which can be really annoying, but you can fix it very, very easily. What you want to do is just shove it kind of close, but make sure it's not touching the inside of the stripper like that, and just hold it there for a second. The hardware on this take an Allen key. It's a pretty small Allen key as well. As you can see, it's really, really small. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tighten up the top post and the bottom post on the other side. I think I can take this out now actually and just hold it there with my hand, because I can fix it later. What you want to do then is just tighten it as much as you can, but at the same time make sure you don't snap the lead. You'll see the lead start to bend when you start twisting, and that can be a good thing because it can bring it off for you to cut it and make it like your life a little bit easier. Now I can put this back in and just use it to hold the coil in place, and just tighten that bottom lead up and make sure the coil isn't all over the place. If I can actually stick it there. There we go. Now, just keep, I hate this thing so much. Or rather, screwdriver hardware. It's so much nicer. Just keep going and going. And it's after, can you see it? Oh, I don't think it bent, or did it? Just, that's what it should look like. That's your first installed coil. And that's the other side. You can just leave it like that for now. Just take your, bring that away for a sec. Just take this, your nail clipper, or if you have one of these and you prefer to use one, just take your wire cutter and just clip the lead so as there's nothing there, and they can't short your other coil that you're going to be installing in a second, which is this one. And I'm going to do the same thing I done a minute ago, put it back on, so as my first wrap is closest to the handle and my last wrap is furthest away, so my first lead and my second lead are like that. Okay, and then I'm going to install these ones again the very same way, just top and bottom, just shove it there so as it'll sit kind of just a bit away from the RDA itself. Just hold it there for a second. I'm going to tighten the bottom post for the first time in this one because it's just handier for me, and then I'm going to do the second post, and I can take the kind of tool out from the coil so it's just not annoying me or anything. Can you see that the lead starts to bend when I tighten it? Starts to bend away from it. That just tightens it. Whoa. Oh, you're afraid I'm gonna break your RDA. Aaron's behind the
see it.
camera, by the way, everyone. Give him a selfie shot. Come on, fuck. Let them see you. I'm not giving them a selfie shot now.
No.
Aaron is shy. He doesn't want to be on camera. I don't know why. He's a beautiful woman. Now I'm just going to tighten this top post again. Just constantly trying to tighten it as much as I possibly can. Now, let's tighten up. Now, they don't look the best when you first install them, but that's because you can heat them up and you can make them look a lot better when they're heated up. Sometimes you'll be left with this. It's like a little piece that sticks out, and that can get really annoying. So what I suggest you do is find like a thin piece of like metal. This is perfect for it. It's really small. It's a really small flathead screwdriver. And what you do is you just go over to it and bend it across away from the coil, so as it doesn't touch the coil ever, because that'll short out and hold on. It can just annoy you because you have to go home and rebuild all your coil again. So now that's bent that way. Now, what I'm going to do is turn on the mod. My back is really sore. Now the mod's on and they're reading at 0.26. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly pulse it. See the smoke starting to come off? And they're starting to turn red. The red parts so far are hot spots. Just keep doing that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ceramic tip tweezers, and to be fairly honest, I actually don't need to do anything because they're both heating up very, very evenly. But just to give them like a nicer look, I'm going to just pinch. Oh, there's a bit of wetness on this.
There's juice probably in
Yeah.
there.
Just going to pinch. Because they're hot, they'll stick together a lot easier. Gonna pinch and pull and just squeeze, and anything I can do to make them look a bit nicer. I'm going to take the thing I used to wrap around. I'm just going to push it into the coil. I'm going to shove it over to center it a little bit more. It's centered more now. I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm just going to shove a tiny bit. And now this coil is perfectly in the center of the middle post. That was really hot. I don't know why I touched it. Don't touch it, by the way, because it's really, really, really hot. Do the same with this one. If I can get this true. There we go. Shove it across. That's left right in the center there. And then just do it a tiny little bit on this side. Just don't shove too hard on that side. It's just to compress it more together. And now they're both centered. Now when I heat them up, they might change. Nope. Sometimes when you heat them up, you're going to have to go back with your tweezers and squeeze them a bit more. And if that doesn't work, to keep them, they have to heat from the middle outwards, kind of like this. They're heating perfectly from the middle outwards. If they don't do that, or if one is heating up a lot faster than the other, what you do is just take this piece, again, like a small tin piece of metal, and just go to the one that's heating up faster and just scrape it a little bit, and it'll slow down the heating up of the coil. I think it just does something to like magnetize it a bit so it doesn't heat up as fast. But that works really well. And then you can just pinch and pull with the tweezers and do what I said to do with this, just like center them. Maybe that could be your problem. Yeah, once that's done and they look kind of like that and they're heating from the middle outwards, it's fine. They're perfect coils. Another thing not to do when you're building coils is if you have a metal tweezers, do not press the button like our mods have the firing bar. don't press the firing bar and try to use the tweezers on it, because that'll short your mod. Well, not your mod, your coil, and you have to take it out and rebuild another coil, and it just gets annoying. So if you are using the metal tweezers, what I suggest you do is press the button, see where the heat, where they're not heating up, or if they are heating up properly, you just want to move them and make them look nicer. Wait till they cool down, and then take your tweezers and squeeze and like pull them across if you need to or anything, and that will short out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to wick your mod. What we're using today is Fiber Freak's original cotton. They come with 4 pads, and they're generally like, okay, there's only one in this pack. There's 4.
I took one up.
Yeah, no, there's only there's none in the pack now though. There was only this one. They're usually a bit bigger than this. They maybe be to about there, like if you can see that, like about that much more. Maybe even, they're usually about that big, maybe a bit more. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut off, you only need 1 strip for this, so I suggest, let me see, yeah, that's perfect. Oh. That much would be just perfect. It's only like a little wafer of wick, and what you do is you cut it directly in the middle of it so as it works for both coils. So now you have 2 wicks that are relatively the same size. I cut this one a little bit bigger, but that doesn't really matter. What you want to do is take off any excess cotton that you don't need, twist one side of it until you have like it down to a fine point that you can just shove through the coil. Your hands might get a bit dirty. Mine get the cotton a bit dirty because I had juice on them. And what you're going to do is you're going to push it right through the coil. You're going to grab the extra little bit there. You're going to pull and pull until it goes through. And you're going to try center it so there's the same amount on both sides. And what I like to do, so as this part is not clumped up and not as fluffy as this, just flick at it, and as you can see it's already after bringing a bit more fluffiness back into it. You can keep doing that if you want to get it as fluffy as you need to get it, but it doesn't really matter. Then you're going to take your second piece and do the very same thing. So we'll speed this up, by the way, just so as you don't have to watch it, because I've watched builds before and they get really boring watching people just fucking try wick, or just try build, to be fairly honest. Just pull through, and what you're going to do is flick that piece again, take off any extra things. What you're going to do is you're going to cut this one down to the same size as the one behind it, so as it's that size, and it's just because of the fact that that's the perfect amount of cotton to put in. Just snip. Down. Now they're the same size on both sides. That's stuck to my finger. You can use the end of this, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use this piece again because it's really thin. Are we?
Yeah.
How much time?